Omagyana Chimandasya Gyana Gana Salakaya Chaksu Sumikta Yena Tasma Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishta Stapita Yena Bhutale Sanarupa Kadamanya Dadati Swamparantikam Vandeha Sri Guru Shita Padakamalan Sri Guru Vaishnavascha Sri Rupan Sakajatan Sahagana Raghunatan Tan Sajivan Sadvaitan Savadutan Parijanan Saitan Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devan Sri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakavitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kantu Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gorange Radha Bimbadanishwari Vishabhanu Sutadevi Pranamami Haripi Vanchakapa Tarubhyas Chakri Pasyinti Bevacha Patitana Pavanabhibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prima Pradayati Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaurati Se Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadara Sri Vatsari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Ananda Lila Maya Vigrayo, Himavada Vicha Visundarayo, Tasma Maha, Primrasa Pradaya, Chitana Chandra Namana Mastate, Chitana Chandra Namana Mastate. So I thank everyone for coming this evening for the Bhagavad-Gita class. So, of course, Bhagavad-Gita is Lord Krishna's instruction on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, instructing his dear disciple about how to execute the main mission of life, which is to attain the Supreme, basically. That is the core message of the Bhagavad-Gita, how to attain the Supreme Lord. Now, Bhagavad-Gita, as we know, is also called Gita Upanishad, because there are 108 Upanishads. There are some major Upanishads and there are some minor Upanishads. And now, the difference between Upanishads and the Vedic scriptures, like we have the Vedas, the Vedas basically is about the different sacrifices, different duties by which how one can live in this material world as a human being, and also how to attain the higher planets. That's basically, which is like fruitive activity, basically. That's what the Vedas, the Vedic scriptures, it's all about. However, when one becomes tired of trying to make the most of this material world, so the Upanishads come inside. Upanishad, it's a philosophical inquiry into the absolute truth. Asatoma Jyoti Gamaya. Asatoma means that no more darkness, no more this material world. And Jyoti Gamaya means come to light. So therefore the Upanishad is instructing us that, okay, come, it's enough of this materialistic endeavor. Now come to know about your real prospects. Just like one senior devotee was, he was just out of curiosity was asking everyone, what is the cream of the Upanishads? What is the cream of the Upanishads? Because after all, there are many Upanishads. You have Kena Upanishad, Husha Upanishad, Prashna Upanishad, Mandokya Upanishad, Anayaka Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad. So many Upanishads are there, whereby you find different types of philosophical discussions. But when all the Upanishads, when they are all put together, and the essence of all the Upanishads is Bhagavad-Gita. That's the essence. So which means if you have studied Bhagavad-Gita and you understand Bhagavad-Gita, then you have basically understand the whole Upanishads. So that's why the great personality, Sankaracharya, he said, when he was glorifying Bhagavad-Gita, and he said, Savupanisadu Gabo, Dugda Gopalanandana, Patu Vatso, Sudi Bhokta, Dugdan Gitamitam Mahat. So he was glorifying Bhagavad-Gita, that all the Upanishads, they are like cows. Savupanisadu Gabo, Gabo means the cow. So all the Upanishads, they are like cow, and the milk of the cow is Gopal, Dugdan Gopalanandana. So Krishna is Nandanandana. So he's the one who is making the cow. And in order for the cow to give milk, there must be a calf. So Palta, Arjuna is Palta, Pato Vatsa. Vatsa is calf. So Pato Vatsa, Sudi Bhokta. So the calf is there, Arjuna representing the calf. And then the maker of the cow is Krishna himself. So he's making the cow, and then the calf is there. And then who is drinking this milk that is coming out? The devotees. Dugdan Gitamitan Mahat. So the great devotees, they are drinking this milk of the cow. They're drinking the milk of the cow. So which means the more you drink it, the more relishment you get. You know, every acharyas, every Sampradaya acharyas, before giving commentaries on the Bhagavad-Gita. And you may read so many different commentaries on the Bhagavad-Gita. They all have different angles. Actually, there is no limit by which the angle can be taken. There is no limit to that. Because Bhagavad-Gita is coming from the mouth of the Lord himself, which means it's always ever fresh. It's ever fresh. You know, all of us, we have been hearing about Gita for decades and we never tired of hearing it. Nobody will say that, oh, I'm tired of hearing Bhagavad-Gita. I'm tired of reading Bhagavad-Gita. As a matter of fact, the more you read Bhagavad-Gita, the more you become enlightened. So, of course, Lord Krishna spoke to his very dear devotee, dear friend Arjuna, and Arjuna. So Arjuna is the perfect disciple because he submitted himself to Krishna. Sister Hensa de Mantam Prapanam. So he submitted himself to Arjuna, and then now Krishna, he assumed the position of a master. There's no more role of a friend. So he became Guru. Krishna Bande Jagat Guru. So Krishna became the Guru. Now he's giving these instructions. Because one can give pertinent instruction only from the position of being a spiritual master. So Krishna is the spiritual master, and he's giving this wonderful instruction of the Bhagavad-Gita. So now we're in the text we are now in the chapter 18 of the Bhagavad-Gita. So this chapter 18 is the conclusion of the Bhagavad-Gita. Actually, Bhagavad-Gita it concludes at the end of 17th chapter, and then the 18th chapter basically it gave a capsule of what has been discussed in all the previous 16 chapters, because the chapter 1 is the introduction. Chapter 1 is the introduction of the battlefield and how Arjuna became very, very morose because he was going to kill all the family members and so many great warriors. So he became disheartened. He didn't want to fight. So Arjuna, basically, Krishna basically have to enlighten him. Now, this chapter 18, before I get to that, we have discussed many times that Bhagavad-Gita is divided into 3 sections. The first 6 chapters, it's discussing karma yoga. The karma yoga means the actions, the activities. Now, when we say the actions, this action does not mean, because normally in this material world, we all engage in activities so that we can enjoy the fruits of our activities. But that is not the whole purpose of discussion of the karma yoga section of the Bhagavad-Gita. The first 6 chapters, which is all about karma, is actually about niskam yoga. Niskam, it means it's about performing actions without enjoying the fruit of actions, without enjoying the fruits. Like in chapter 3, Lord Krishna says, kamani evadikaraste, mafalesu karachena, that you have the right to perform your work, but you are not entitled to enjoy the results. Why? Because the result is meant for the love for Krishna, it's not meant for you. You can perform your duties, but you're not expected to enjoy the results. So the karma is discussed there. And then the 6th chapter, the middle 6th chapter, is about bhakti. It's about devotional service, about how to render bhakti. And in order to render bhakti, you have to know who is the Lord, who is Krishna. What is this material world? What is the composition of this material world? So this is all discussed in the middle 6 chapters of the Bhagavad-Gita, from chapter 7 to chapter 12. It's all about devotional service, whereby Krishna explains who he is and how one can love him, how one can develop love for him. So the Lord, explained this in the middle 6th chapter. And then the last 6 chapters begins from chapter 13. So the Lord is talking about, it is Gyan yoga. Gyan, when we talk of Gyan, this is not just dry knowledge. This is knowledge that reveals the Supreme Lord. So you have karma, you have bhakti, and you have Gyan. All 3 together, it's all about revealing the Supreme Lord so that we can establish our relationship with him. So this 18th chapter it's called the conclusion. Actually, here it said the perfection of renunciation, but it's also the conclusion of the Bhagavad-Gita. Its conclusion is sometimes you're hearing some discourses, some lectures, and sometimes the lecturer wants to give a capsules of what has already been discussed. So this chapter 18 is what's being discussed. Now there's a very special glory of this chapter 18 of the Bhagavad-Gita. So one time Lord Shiva, he was talking to his wife, Parvati Devi. Actually Lord Shiva, he glorified Bhagavad-Gita, he glorified. We have a Gita Mahatmya, which is the glory of the Bhagavad-Gita by Lord Shiva himself. So Lord Shiva was explaining that one time, he said that one time Indradev, the king of the Devas, so he was in his Amravati, this is Indra's palace, Indra's headquarters in the heavenly planet. So he was there, and as was there, he was sitting on his throne. So one day, as he was sitting on his throne, one day, he saw a very beautiful person. He was entering the palace. Very beautiful, attractive person was entering the palace. And so many people, they were honoring this person who was entering his palace. Now, immediately, this person entered the palace of Indra. Indra fell down from his throne. So when he fell down from his throne, so his crown also came off of his head. So when the crown came off, so the great rishis, so they took this crown and they put it on the head of this new person that just entered the Indra's palace. So essentially, this Indra, he lost his position of being Indra. He lost his position. He fell down from his position. Now he's no more Indra. So this old Indra was looking at this new. They was saying, "What happened? How has this person have attained this position of Indra? What has he done?" Because normally to be Indra, the position of Indra as the person is like the most pious person in this planet. The person who is like the most pious person, who have executed all kinds of sacrifices, all kinds of austerities, so many things that the person must have done, and especially who has performed 100 Ashwamedha Jaga, 100 horse sacrifice to become Indra. To become Indra is not that easy. But Indra was noting that this person who has just become Indra, he has not done all these things. He has not done any sacrifices. He has not performed. He has not dig wells. So many things. How has he attained this position of being Indra? How has he attained this position? So this Indra was. This Indra, old Indra. So he went, and then he went to pray to Lord Vishnu. Hare Krishna. So he went to pray to Lord Vishnu that, my dear Lord, please tell me, how come this person has occupied my position? He hasn't done anything. What has he done? So the Lord replied to him that, well, this person, this new Indra, he has consistently listened to the 18th chapter of Bhagavad-Gita. He has, every day of his life, he was reciting the 18th chapter of Bhagavad-Gita. And so therefore, he has attained this position of Indra. And at the end of his life, when he's finished his position of being Indra, he's going to come back to me. He's going to come to my abode. Sorry, let me just turn this thing off. So he said he's going to attain my abode after finishing his position of Indra. So this Indra, old Indra, he heard this, and he came down, and then he took the form of a Brahmana, and then he was wandering on this planet, and then he met a Brahmana who is always reciting the Bhagavad-Gita, and then this Brahmana taught him how to recite the 18th chapter of Bhagavad-Gita. So this Indra, following this instruction, so he also started reciting 18th chapter, reciting the sloka from the 18 chapters. And then at the end of his life, so he went to the abode. So Lord Shiva, so he was saying that he said that any person who chants this 18th chapter of the Bhagavad-Gita, one will actually attain that greatest abode of the Lord. So in this way, Lord Shiva is glorifying the Bhagavad-Gita in this way. There's one book we have called the Gita Mahatmya, and this book contains so many glorifications of the Bhagavad-Gita. That even just by reciting just one sloka alone, even just alone, we can get the ultimate benefit. So we should not let a day go by without reading Bhagavad-Gita. We can hear it, we can listen to it, we will always get the ultimate benefit. So we are in the 18th chapter 18, text number 7, right? 7? Yesterday was 6. Huh? 7, okay. So this text is about because I drew at the beginning of this chapter, Arjuna, they asked about the difference between sannyas and tyaga. So I just want to know the difference. He says, is there a difference between sannyas and tyaga? Because in all the previous chapters, the Lord has explained he had talked about renunciation, and he is also talking about tyaga, about in terms of not enjoying the fruit of action. So, because Arjuna, he had heard many instructions about sannyas and about tyaga. So he said that, so there's a doubt that arises in him. So Arjuna, he has a doubt. He said, what is the first verse is Sanyasha Shyamahabao Tuaton Ichame Veditun Tyaga Sachurishikesha Pritan Kesin Shudana, that, my dear Lord, I want to understand the purpose of renunciation, tyaga, and also the renounced order of life. Actually, this verse is a little bit. Because tyaga is not enjoying the fruit of action. That is tyaga, which means one can perform activities, but one is not enjoying the fruit of actions. It's just like you are working with someone, you are working, and the person says, okay, you're not going to get paid for your work. Just keep working only, you will not get paid. This is what it means. This is what tyaga means. Okay, you are working, but you won't get paid. Of course, in this story, somebody tells you that, you tell the person that you are crazy. Am I not going to work and not getting paid for? So everybody wants to get fruit of their activities. But here, the Lord is talking about renunciation, and also about the giving up the fruits of one's activities. So the Lord is talking about it here. So this doubt is there, and Arjuna, he addressed the Lord, say, you are Kesi Sudam, and say, you are the killer of the Kesi demon. You are the killer of the Kesi demon. If you can kill this demon, I'm sure you can kill my doubts. You can clear my doubts. Because Kesi is one of the demons that Lokeshna killed here in Vrindavan. And what is the representation of Kesi? Kesi represents arrogance, vanity, pride, puffed upness, So this is what Kesi represents. And this is what Krishna come to kill. So like sometimes we're talking of a Krishna killing so many demons in Vrindavan. But actually those demons that Krishna is killing, they actually represent various anarthas, which we have within us. Just like cheating mentality. Like Putana represents cheating mentality. A cheating guru. Agasura. So they all have different representations. And this is what Krishna, by remembering all these different pastimes of the Lord's Lila, the Lord's pastimes, then we can actually come to address all our various anarthas. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he had explained this nicely in one of his books, in Sri Krishna Samhita, and also in the Chaitanya Sikshamrita, whereby he explained how different demons that Krishna killed, they represent particular anarthas that we may have when we are trying to be a devotees in our practice of devotional service. So Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, you are Kesina Sudana, you are the killer of the Kesi demon. So therefore, kill this doubt of mine of the difference between renunciation, the sannyas, and tyaga. So in this text number 7, so we can just all chant together. We can chant together text number 7. Neyatasya tu samyasa kamano nupapadyate bhavattasya parityagas tamasa parikiritat niyatasya prescribed to both samyasaha renunciation kamano of activities na never upapadyate is deserved mohat by illusion tasya of them parityaga renunciation tamasa in the mode of ignorance parikitaha is declared. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti-Vinod Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki. Prescribed duties should never be renounced. If one gives up his prescribed duties because of illusion, such renunciation is said to be in the mode of ignorance. Purport. Work for material satisfaction must be given up, but activities which promote one to spiritual activity, like cooking for the Lord and offering food to the Lord and then accepting the food, are recommended. It is said that a person in the renounced order of life should not cook for himself. Cooking for oneself is prohibited, but cooking for the Supreme Lord is not prohibited. Similarly, a sannyasi may perform a marriage ceremony to help his disciples in the advancement of Krishna consciousness. If one renounces such activities, it is to be understood that he is acting in the mode of darkness. So in the text number 3 also, there are the kind of recommendation which was given by various scholars. The Lord said, Tyagyam dosa vadiyatike kama prahu manishina jagan danantapa kama na tyagyan iti chapare. So they say some learned scholars declare that all kinds of fruitive activities should be given up as fault, because a lot of fault is there. Yet other sages maintain that acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance should never be abandoned. Because in this world, every activity is always full of trouble. It's all full of troublesome. There is no activity that, one can perform in this material world that does not entail difficulties, especially when this body has to be maintained. And especially when various activities are being performed, especially also when sacrifices are being done. In the course of performing so many activities, a lot of sins are also being incurred. There are varieties of ways by which we incur sinful activities. Just like anytime you are walking, the sin is there. Anytime you are cooking, the sin is there. Anytime you are clapping your hand, and so many things we do in this world is all involve a lot of sins. Every activity is there. So many proponents of yoga system, they say it's better to give up all activities in order to attain, for spiritual attainment. It's better to give up all activities. It's better to become sannyas, renunciant. But on the other hand, there are other scholars who say, no, don't give up all activities. The Kama Mimamsakas, which is propounded by Jamini Rishi, that no, do not give up activities. Because as long as in this material world, you can't avoid doing something. You cannot. Even in the chapter 3 of the Bhagavad-Gita, Lord Krishna this discussion was also going on between the Lord and the Arjuna, that in this material world, activities has to go on. But however, it's better not to see oneself as the enjoyer of the activities. Because if one sees because what is contaminating in this material world is the fact that we see ourselves as the enjoyer of all our activities. So because we see ourselves as the enjoyer, we want to enjoy all that we are doing, so therefore, we incur the sinful reaction. Whereas a devotee of the Lord, who is doing everything for the satisfaction of the Lord, even though he's doing the same thing that everyone is doing, but he's not incurring any sinful activities. There's no sinful activity involved. For example, you want to eat. The body needs to be maintained. So a devotee prepare food for the Lord. They prepare bhoga for the Lord to enjoy. And after the Lord finishes enjoying, and then the devotee take prasad. You see. So by taking prasad, the body is nourished. And at the same time, one makes spiritual advancement. You can see. Same activity, same thing of cooking and eating. One is that immediately you finish cooking, you eat because you want to maintain yourself. But at the same time, you incur a lot of sinful activity. You become, you commit sin. But the same cooking you do, you offer to the Lord. My dear Krishna, here's food for you. You eat it. And the Lord is going to eat the food. And then again, because of his transcendental, because the Lord is very, very merciful to his devotee, even though you are giving me all the food to eat, he again give it back to you. He'll again give you back his remnant to take. And that remnant is a spiritualized food. It's a spiritual food. Spiritual food is very, very much glorified in the Vedic scriptures when you take the Lord's prasad. When you take the Lord's prasad, it's Amrita. What is Amrita? Amrita, what gives lives? It's nourishment. Your body is nourished. It also gives you eternal life when you take Krishna prasad. So therefore, the activities cannot be renounced. So when we say the sannyas, a Vaishnava taking sannyas is the same as a tyagi. Normally, sannyas, of course, in Vaishnavism, when we say sannyas, mean that we actually until the time of Srila Bhakti-yoga, there was not really much of there wasn't much of a sannyasi within our sampradaya. There wasn't much of a sannyasi. Normally, devotees, the Vaishnavas, at a certain time they become like tyagi, whereby they take vairag. Vairagi means they just take a life of seclusion and to do the Nijan Bhajan. But for the sake of preaching, Srila Bhakti-yoga introduced the sannyas order of life. Otherwise, for execution of Krishna consciousness, sannyas order of life is not really, it's not needed. It's not necessary. And as a matter of fact, sannyas order of life is one of the 5 prohibitions for this age of Kali. And Ashwalamba, Gavalamba, Sanyasi Palapatrikan, Devarina Stutpatan, Kalo Panchavivajaye. 5 activities are condemned in age of Kali. Sannyas, all sacrifice, Ashwalamba, Gavad, skull sacrifice, the begetting of children in the womb of one's brother, and the offering of sacrifice to the forefathers. So these 5 things are condemned, are abandoned for the age of Kali. They're not supposed to be, performed, But however, for the sake of preaching, especially, because normally my body they take sannyas because of their arrogance. But for the sake of preaching, because the sannyas they're very much respected in the society, and the people they like to listen to sannyasis. When they see sannyasi, they want to refer respect, they want to see that hear them. So therefore, the Vaishnava they take sannyas just for the sake of preaching, just to enhance the preaching. Otherwise, the Vaishnava are sannyasis and the Vaishnava are not sannyasis. They are all the same. They are because both of them they are all ready service for the enjoyment of Krishna. They are not doing their service for their own enjoyment. So therefore, they are both the same. So Mahaprabhu said, Kiba Vipra Kiba Nyosi, Sura Kene Noy, yes, Krishna Tattva Vita says, Guru. He said, it doesn't matter if one is a sannyasi or Vanaprastha or Brahmachari, whatever. If someone knows the science of Krishna, then the person can be a guru. Because after all, in Ramananda Roy, he was a sannyasi. No, sorry, he was a grihastha. And Mahaprabhu was a topmost sannyasi, but the law, he was listening Krishna Katha from Ramananda Roy. So there was one time in his Puri Lila, Pradyumna Mishra, he wanted to hear about Krishna. So he went to Mahaprabhu. He said, my dear Lord, I want to hear Krishna Katha. Please tell me Krishna Katha. So the Mahaprabhu replied to him, he said that if you want to know Krishna Katha, I don't know much about Krishna Katha, you go to Ramananda Rai. You go to him, he will tell you Krishna Katha. So because of his faith in Mahaprabhu, so Pradyumna Mishra, so he went to Ramananda Rai. He went to the house of Ramananda Rai. But when he reached the Ramananda Roy's house, because Ramananda Roy, he had composed a drama for the for Lord Jagannath Vallabh Nataka, which he had composed, and in this drama he will train young girls how to dance, how to express themselves. And now before he started teaching them how to dance, these very young girls who are like the prime of their life, Ramananda Roy, he will bathe them, massage their body, apply oil all over their body, and dress them nicely, and then teach them how to dance. So when Pradyumna Mishra entered Ramananda Roy's house, and then he saw all this activity that Ramananda Roy was doing, bathing young girls, massaging them, dressing them. So Pradyumna Mishra he was surprised. He said, what is this? I thought Ramananda Roy is a great devotee, but how come he's bathing young girls, massaging their body? Why has Mahaprabhu sent me here? So he became very doubtful. He said, what kind of devotee is this? He thought that Ramananda Roy must be a big sense enjoyer. So when Ramananda Roy, when he noticed that Pradyumna Mishra was in the house waiting for him, he said, oh, I didn't know that you are here. Is there anything I can do for you? Pradyumna Mishra said, oh, I just came to just to pay my homage to you. That's all. So he left. And then he went back to Mahaprabhu. Then Mahaprabhu asked him that, have you heard Krishna Katha from Ramananda Roy? Then Pradyumna Mishra said, well, this is what I've seen. This is what Ramananda Roy was doing. He was bathing the young girls, this and that. So what kind of devotee is that? How's he going to tell me Krishna Katha? So Mahaprabhu said, well, you don't know who is Ramananda Roy. He said, I as a sannyasi, even if I see a wooden door of a woman had become agitated. But Ramananda Roy, he's the least agitated, even though he was bathing the young girls, massaging them, applying all over the body, dressing them. He see them as simple as a stone, because Ramananda Roy, he's in his eternal form as a Manjari. And he simply see himself as simply trying to assist these girls in dancing, preparing themselves to give pleasure to Lord Jagannath. So even though Ramananda Roy was a Grihastha, but he was actually the most renounced person. So my Prabhu said that if you want to hear Krishna Katha, you better go back to Ramananda Roy. If you really want to hear Krishna Katha. So, and of course, Pradyumna Mishra, he had faith in Mahaprabhu. So he went back to Ramananda Roy, and then he asked him that, will Mahaprabhu send me to you to hear Krishna Katha? So Ramananda Roy said, well, you are very fortunate, that because it's only a fortunate person who want to hear Krishna Katha. So therefore, whatever was discussed between the Lord and Ramananda Roy in Kaveri, and on the bank of Godavari, so the same discussion, so Ramananda Roy had with Pradyumna Mishra, and Pradyumna Mishra, of course, was very, very happy that he heard this in a great Krishna Katha from Ramananda Roy. So in this way, it's not a particular status of life that actually defines a devotee. It's a matter of what mentality the devotees have had, what mentality the devotee have. There's another story. So one time, this story I think was Ramanujacharya. So Ramanujacharya, he had many, many disciples. Some of them are sannyasis, and some of them are grihasthas. There's one particular couple, husband and wife, who are very, very devoted to their guru, very, very devoted to Ramanujacharya. So he wanted to test this couple. So he sent his disciples to go in the middle of the night to go and steal everything from this couple, to go and steal everything from them. So in the middle of the night, the disciples of Ramanuja, so they went to the house of this couple. So they were stealing everything. They were taking everything, all the jewelries, everything in the house. They took everything, and then except there was a ring on the ear of the wife, the lady. There was an earring on her ears. So because she was sleeping this way, so they took one ring, and then they were figuring out how to take the second one. So because she knows what it was, so she turned her other head so that they can take the other one. And then because she did that, so this devotees, so they ran away. So the lady, she woke up, she told her husband that, oh, I think there must be something, there must be something going on in the ashram, because, the devotees came, they were trying to take something, and then they took the ring, and I was trying to make them to take the second ring, so they ran away. So the husband became angry with the wife. He said that, why did you make them scared? Why didn't you let them get to take your other earring? So she became angry with the wife that, why did you scare them? So these devotees, they are so renounced, they are so detached from everything. On the other hand, Ramanujacharya, he has sannyasis, disciples. So he has devotees to go and misplace their, normally, devotees, brahmachari, sannyasi, they will hang their coupons, on the lines. So he sent some devotees to go and misplace them, to put them in different places. So the next day, so all these various sannyasis, they started fighting on their various doties. They said, well, why are you taking my dhoti? Why are you taking my coupon? They were fighting on their coupon. They were fighting over it. So Ramanujacharya was saying, so you can see who's actually renounced. Is this sannyasis or the grihastha? Who's actually renounced? So we have all these many characteristics there, that it's not because of the dress, or that define a devotee. Is the mentality, the spirit of enjoyment that cannot be there. And this is what the Lord is trying to point out here, that spirit of enjoyment must not be there, that if one simply give up activities, think that, oh, this is just, going to contaminate me, all these things, then such activities is said to be tamago in a mode of ignorance. Because there's many things we are supposed to be doing as devotee. For instance, observing Ekadasi. This is something we must do. Things like, observing different festivals, the Lord's appearance, Janmashtami, various festivals. Devotees must observe all these activities. But if someone thinks that, oh, I'm going to renounce all these activities, actually, the result is that when we actually get adverse effect on that. So the activities must be performed, but the one should not. What is to be given up is the fruit of the activities. That must to be given up, and this is what the Lord is explaining throughout the also chapter until the last verse, when the Lord say, "Mamana madbakto, madajimana maskuru, ma vivasya satyantir patijana priyoshime," that just think of me always, absorb, give up everything to me, think of me always. Therefore, you come to me. So the Lord, this is like when we go towards the end of this chapter. So therefore, that artificial renunciation is never recommended. Rather, what is recommended is what can give pleasure to Krishna, what can satisfy Krishna, and this is what the gopis of Vrindavan, this is their mentality. To them is what's going to make Krishna happy. What makes Krishna happy is what makes them happy, not anything else. Krishna happiness comes first. Happiness of Krishna comes. Other things secondary. The happiness of Krishna, that's what comes first. And that's how devotees, this is how they define their life. So I'm going to stop here as we are getting ready for the Damodarastaka. So any question, comment? Yeah. Okay, this one. Hare Krishna.
You were giving the example of Brahman Rai, that he was with the young girls, giving them bath, massaging them, and dressing them, and making them dance in front of Lord Jagannath.
Mm-hmm.
So similar way, there is a comment about in Rasula Yuga, when Sahadev said that he was glorifying Krishna, and that time the Krishna Pita said, yes, he is the greatest brahmachari for Krishna. He is saying, although he is having so many wives and other things, but he is still a brahmachari. And I am not a brahmachari, he said, because I took a vow that I will not associate with a woman. But Krishna, he did not say anything, and he never had any connection with the women. He had already so many women, but he was not having any connection. So can you comment something on that?
Yeah, this of course very interesting story, which is there in the Gopatapani Upanishad, whereby Krishna said that Krishna Nitya Brahmachari, that Krishna is eternally Brahmachari. And of course, if when somebody hear that, then they start, it's like a joke. Oh, what do you mean Krishna is eternally Brahmachari when he after all he dance with girls every night? So how can you be a Brahmachari? And of course, Krishna told the gopis that, look, if you want to cross River Yamuna, you better chant this mantra. Otherwise, you will not be able to cross. So the gopis, they chanted it, and then they were able to cross River Yamuna. So because Krishna is the absolute, he is the absolute. And being the absolute, he touches the same times not touching. We can say that, okay, it's with women, but at the same time also it's not with women. That is some of the absolute nature of Krishna. Similarly, also, Srimati Radharani was also the same thing also. Like Srimati Radharani was known in the Vrindavan as the very unchaste girls, because she was married, and at the same time also she was always associating with Krishna. So like Kutila was saying that, oh, she's very unchaste. So there's one time they wanted to test who's the most chaste lady in Vrindavan? So Krishna was sick. Krishna had a fever, and Radharani came. Not Radharani, another Muni came. That Krishna had a fever. So what is the medicine? Normally in Vrindavan, if something happened to Krishna, the whole Brajabasi, everyone is in panic. So a discussion came that what's going to cure Krishna's fever. So Narada Muni said, well, the only way Krishna's fever can be cured, if there can be a chaste girl who can bring water from the Yamuna. She has to be able to bring water from Yamuna, and the pot must have hundreds of holes. So the pot must have hundreds of holes. So any girl that can bring water from Yamuna with the pot that has hundreds of holes, and without any water dropping down, that will be considered a chaste, or that will be considered a chaste girl. And it's only with that water that Krishna can be cured. So everyone, all the Brajabasi ladies, they all trying. Everyone who have prized themselves to be very, very chaste, Kutila. So many of them, they all going to Yamuna, taking water immediately. Immediately water came out. So now Radharani, so she took the same pot. She went to Yamuna and she took the water, and not a single drop of water came out. Not a single drop of water came out. So everybody said, yes, this is the only chaste lady of Vrindavan. It's the only chaste lady. And if it's from that only, what was poured on Krishna's head, and then his headache was gone. So in this way, this is the absolute nature of the Lord, the absolute nature, like that. And of course, this story of Ramananda Roy cannot really, it's actually different stories, because devotees, because their life, they completely give up their life for Krishna, even though they may be doing so many things, but everything is all for the Krishna's enjoyment. Just like Srila Bhakti Thakur, he composed this, this nice prayer. I forgot the Bengali. So he's saying that, who is my wife? Who do I call my wife? My wife is your maidservant, Krishna. And who do I call my son? My son is your servant. And who's my daughter? My daughter is your maidservant. And what is this house? This is your house. And what is my position? I'm just a caretaker. That's all. So therefore, any happiness or distress that may come from the administration of this house, it doesn't affect me, because I'm just a caretaker. That's all. This is Krishna's property, Krishna's servant. This is just, everything belongs to Krishna. Nothing belongs to me. So therefore, a devotee is always detached, completely detached. Even though it may be in the middle of many things, but still is completely detached, the devotees. So in this way, we have to follow the footsteps of the great, devotees this way. We have to follow their line. We have to try to adopt their mentality as much as possible. And of course, this requires intense endeavor, to do that. Okay?
Thank you.
Any other points? Question? Anyway, thank you very much for coming. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Krishna Baladam ki, Gopi Menande.